You know the drill. You know the drill. What is SpongeBob even about? Well, if you grew up with SpongeBob like I did, then you know that this show can go from 1 to 100 on the weird scale in a matter of seconds.
Who's this?
So with that being said, let's get started. In season 5 episode 1, Spongehenge, the wind becomes so extreme to the point where the wind goes through SpongeBob's holes, and this starts creating tunes from SpongeBob's body. Now this was fun at first, but it became pretty bothersome really fast because of all those jellyfish that were vibing to SpongeBob's whole music. They even started going in and out of his body all the time and tried to force him to not leave the pineapple. This has got to count as some form of sexual harassment. Mr. Krabs wasn't having none of it though. He couldn't run his business without the employee of the month, so he grabbed his fishing rod and kidnapped SpongeBob by force to work. It's just crazy how casually Mr. Krab abuses his employees and will just take it like a good boy. Isn't this supposed to be the Krusty Krab? I didn't realize SpongeBob was working at a Subway as well. I'm tired, boss. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Anyways, while SpongeBob was locking in for his shift, the wind got so loud again that a Mexican family of jellyfish came to listen to SpongeBob's tunes. And the look on SpongeBob's face. You just know he was gonna be on the receiving end of many backshots that night. Before the jellyfish could lash out on SpongeBob, the Krusty Krab breaks apart and SpongeBob gets blown away to Patrick's rock, where Patrick's consuming whatever this is and throwing ice cream at the TV. Anyways, Patrick is such a fake friend, I'm not gonna lie. This video is one example, but there's likely hundreds of examples. I could make a whole video on why Patrick is a fraud. He wouldn't help SpongeBob or let him crash in his rock, then called him a negative influence.
Get out of here! I'm sorry, SpongeBob, but you've become a negative influence!
Which is hilarious, but still, how are you gonna watch as your boy gets kidnapped by jellyfish, then just carry on going about your day like it's nothing? At this point, SpongeBob is in jellyfish fields, fighting for his life, so he dashes into a cave and stays there for a long time. How long? However long it takes to grow this beard, and he's getting mentally unstable to the point where he crafts sculptures of himself and will have tea parties with them. Now that's just an average day in the office for me, but apparently it's not so common. SpongeBob then gets an idea to use the sculptures as a distraction for the jellyfishes so he can escape. So he makes a bunch more bigger ones, and the plan worked eventually. But when SpongeBob finally gets back to the Krusty Krab, it's half buried on the ground. No! How am I going to clock in now? How can I uphold the shareholders' value? Who's gonna rev up those fryers? So SpongeBob must have been stuck in that cave for decades, maybe even centuries. He is a sponge after all. Those little shits live for ages. The episode ends with aliens discussing the origins of the SpongeBob statues, because it's like a wonder of the world to them. And I'm sure this episode has raised up a lot of questions for you guys. The main one being, is everyone still alive and what did I just witness? Now my assumption is that everyone did get offed. Moving on. The next episode I'm about to cover is a lot more random. Season 7, Episode 7, Squidward in Clarinetland. The episode starts off with Squidward coming into work in a surprisingly good mood, even after getting door slammed by SpongeBob, almost dying from this British guy's breath.
Hello, bruv. Bruv, I need a Fanta Light, bruv. A Fanta Light and assist token, bruv.
And getting slobbered on by a baby. Now the reason he was happy in the first place was because he had a clarinet recital after work. Anyways, that whole happiness facade lasted about 1 minute. But hey, if a baby started violating my clarinet, I'd be fuming as well. So after that happened, Squidward gave Mr. Krabs the jump scare of a lifetime. Ah, labor regulations! Nah, but for real, who does Squidward think he is? How dare he try to get his boss to treat him fairly? Mr. Krabs was backed into a corner, so he fetched out some locker with a skeleton in it for Squidward to store his clarinet. Who's that, Mr. Krabs?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scares here.
So yeah, Squidward's got a locker for his clarinet now, but the only issue is that he has to share it with this psychopath. I just know SpongeBob thought to himself, what's the nastiest thing I've got on me right now? And instantly locked in on this demonic toothbrush. I'm not gonna lie, SpongeBob was moving like the Joker in this episode. He knew that Squidward had a clarinet recital, but he kept messing around and changing the location of his clarinet because of, and I quote this, renovations. These aren't your average renovations either. SpongeBob literally expanded the locker with galvanized square steel, eco-friendly wood veneers, and screws from Little John's aunt. But for what purpose? Other than to mentally scar Squidward for life. So as Squidward looks for his clarinet in the back rooms, he hears SpongeBob's sinister laughter and starts chasing him through this house of horrors, which leads him to Clarinetland, where he gets pressured by a giant eagle. Stay with me now, guys. It doesn't get better. Squidward was shook by that hawk for real. He didn't stand on business, and to be fair, that hawk fully swallowed him whole, so there wasn't much he could do. As Squidward was falling down the eagle's insides, he is sat in between two mirrors that are morphing into clarinets and making fun of him. And then as he carries on chasing SpongeBob, he finds himself in a pinball machine where a giant Patrick is playing it and talks about pressure.
And how did you get so big?
Must be all the pressure.
What are you talking about?
It must be the pressure.
Squidward then gets stalked by a vacuum cleaner, which explodes and sends him to space where he's still chasing SpongeBob, and this eventually leads to him leaking out of a locker with a classic random episode realistic frame. This is the face of a man who experienced worse things beyond our human comprehension. This is the face of a man who failed to obtain 6-pack abs for a £1 million bet. Whilst Squidward is rotting away, Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob how he scammed the elderly out of $20 for a Krabby Patty. You know, casual Mr. Krabs stuff. And then SpongeBob will let Squidward know he kept the clarinet with him instead of storing it in the locker, which pissed Squid off so much that he locked SpongeBob in the locker and then threw him on a bus to a land far, far away, which I'm pretty sure is where Shrek and them guys are from. That's gonna be an insane crossover if SpongeBob and Shrek link up. That type of motive could destroy the universe if they meet. So yeah, Squidward has some real trauma of SpongeBob after that whole episode. Before he was about to perform, he opened up his case and SpongeBob pops out. I guess he just didn't vibe with the Shrek cast, which is surprising considering both SpongeBob and Shrek probably use the same toothpaste. Anyways, Squidward was so scared by what happened that he bolted out of the building faster than Dr. Disrespect when he gets an invite to a Diddy party. Hey there, well done on making it to the end of this video. How about you treat yourself and subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're here so you don't miss out on some of the videos of all time. And don't forget to comment about how I sound like Shrimp from Smiling Friends, you dickheads. And as always, see you in the next video.
Brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash cause I'm trying to savor it. Secret formula, I went